Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're looking into the work of Men Heal. That's Helping Men Heal, LLC, a Hawaii-based 501c3.
Hmm.
We've got documents detailing their relief work during the 2023 Maui wildfires, and also their organizational portfolio that lays out their bigger mission, services, future plans.
Right. And our mission for this deep dive is really to grasp what Men Heal did right there in the crisis,
Yeah.
but also, what that tells us about their whole long-term approach to men's well-being.
Yeah, digging into the surprising insights from their work.
Exactly. See what makes them tick, what makes their approach stand out.
Okay, so let's jump right into the immediate aftermath. August 2023, the Maui wildfires. The documents say they mobilized really fast.
You did. August 9th, they were at Kahui's War Memorial Gym in Lahaina.
And not just showing up, but getting stuck in straight away.
Right. Working alongside other volunteers, offloading donations, organizing everything, distributing aid. Long hours, too. 10-hour days often mentioned. But what's really key here, I think, is that they understood right from the start that it wasn't just about, food and water. It was physical and mental health support needed together.
That's a crucial point. And while everyone was understandably focused on basic survival stuff, Men Heal had this unique position. They state they were the only mental health outreach specialists specifically focused on men on Maui at that moment.
That's huge. A really specific and frankly needed niche.
Definitely.
And you see that reflected in their priorities. They immediately focused on getting medical and mental health pros from the airport out to Lahaina, Kihei, Kula.
The hardest hit places.
Exactly. Because they knew that psychological first aid was just as vital as bandages or bottles of water.
It really shows foresight, doesn't it? Understanding the whole picture.
It does. And there was another thing they noticed pretty quickly, a practical issue.
Oh, what was that?
Just the sheer amount of waste. All the donations being unpacked, packaging, unwanted items maybe. It created a big waste and recycling problem.
Ah, yeah, I can see that. At the temporary spots, like the beaches in Kahui, Kihei, Kula, Lahaina, sanitation becomes a major concern.
Precisely. And dealing with that isn't just about tidiness, it's about health, dignity. Men Heal spotting that early on that important for disaster planning in general, I think.
Good point. And while managing this, they're also seeing the human cost firsthand.
Oh, absolutely. The mental and emotional toll. They talk about meeting men who'd lost literally everything. Homes, livelihoods.
And the strain on first responders, too. Firefighters, medics.
Yeah, immense pressure. The documents give this example. Arnaldo, a father of 7 in Lahaina,
Right.
just left destitute, jobless. It really brings home the personal devastation. It goes so far beyond just the damaged buildings.
It really does. So it sounds like the crisis sort of expanded Men Heal's mission right there on the spot.
It seems like it. They went beyond just the mental health outreach. They were distributing supplies, helping with logistics, finding shelter and food.
And offering specialized support, too, like bereavement counseling and trauma-informed care.
Yeah, very concrete actions.
Yeah.
Transporting the health professionals was one, but also tackling that waste problem directly.
How did they do that?
They actually built a functional sorting point for trash and recyclables at the main relief site.
Yeah.
Just using materials on hand, wood pallets, trash bags, shrink wrap.
Resourceful.
Very. And they plan to set up similar hubs at the beach camps, too. It shows real adaptability, like on-the-ground problem solving.
That's impressive. And the personal stories you mentioned, they didn't just observe, they acted.
Right. For Arnaldo, they raised funds, arranged 6 months of bereavement therapy for him and his family. That's direct, meaningful help.
That's incredible.
And then there's the story of Zamai, a young displaced girl. She loved painting and writing. They saw she was anxious, needed a safe space, so they built her this little shelter, like a den, out of wood pallets.
No way.
Yeah, and filled it with donated art supplies, books, just trying to give her a little haven. It shows the focus on individual needs, kids included.
That's really touching. It makes such a difference.
And amid all this, they also noted, rising stress levels, more arguments among the adults.
Understandable, but it just underlines why that mental health support was so critical.
Absolutely. And all this work during the crisis, it didn't just meet immediate needs. It clearly shaped their thinking about their long-term goals, the kinds of programs they needed.
And they connect it to their upcoming anniversary, too, right? Their 3rd year in 2025, showing that ongoing commitment.
Exactly. Which is a good segue into looking at their broader portfolio, their vision beyond the immediate crisis response.
Okay. So, Men Heal, officially set up in Hawaii, December 21st, 2022. Founder and CEO is Dr. Eminon Fearless Wanderer.
Right. And Dr. Wanderer's background is, well, it's pretty foundational to what Men Heal is all about. Academically, he studied at Kaplan back in 2010, then Purdue Global in 2020. Then he got his doctorate from Walden University, finished his master's there in 2025, too, actually. His research focused on masculine ideologies, particularly among emerging adult males in the Pacific Islands.
Interesting focus.
And he also had an athletic scholarship experience, which he says gave him exposure to a lot of different socioeconomic backgrounds.
So a mix of academic rigor and real-world interaction. What about his professional life?
Extensive. Over 20 years in behavioral and mental health. Worked with youth, adults, people with special needs.
Wow.
Yeah, roles like adaptive PE instructor, registered behavioral tech, teacher's assistant substitute teacher, community outreach, unit supervisor, counselor. The list goes on.
So he's seen the system from multiple angles. Management experience, too.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And he stresses things like customer service, community relations.
Yeah.
But what's really striking is his personal motivation.
Okay.
He's very open about his own struggles during his PhD journey. Imposter syndrome, depression, insecurities. He even faced divorce, homelessness, unemployment during that time.
That's incredibly tough.
It is. But he says overcoming that and then seeing the positive response when he started sharing his vulnerability in videos, that's when he found his purpose, helping other men heal.
So he gets it on a deep level.
Exactly. He understands how those traditional sort of hegemonic masculine ideas, always be strong, don't show emotion, how they can cause real emotional trauma. The image we have of him, it suggests someone approachable, warm.
Yeah. It makes sense that the organization he founded reflects that personal insight. It's not just theory for him.
Not at all. It's lived experience. And he brings that into his various roles and brands, too. He's got creative outlets like Source Trip, Be Humane, Beach Dreams, Pure Awareness.
So more than just the nonprofit.
Right. He's seen as the creator, the healer, focusing on that holistic view. Mental, emotional, spiritual, physical health, and the educator, providing resources.
And described as dedicated, motivated, forward-thinking. His personal website, eminonwanderer.com, has more too.
Yeah. All this feeds into tackling the core problem Men Heal identifies, the men's mental health crisis.
Which they connect strongly to that concept of hegemonic masculinity.
Right. Those dominant, often restrictive ideas about manhood, the patriarchal mindset, they call it, affecting awareness, willingness to get help across generations, cultures.
So men might ignore symptoms to keep up appearances.
Yeah, exactly. Or find that general treatment approaches just don't quite fit their specific needs. That pressure to conform prevents them from reaching out.
And the stats back this up, unfortunately.
They do. They cite rising depression in youth, a big chunk of young men's health spending going to mental health and substance use issues, high suicide rates.
And the need for more mental health awareness at work, too.
Critical.
Yep.
So given this challenge, this pressure of traditional masculinity, what's Men Heal's solution? How do they approach it?
Well, they describe it as transformative.
Yeah.
And holistic, community-led.
Okay, let's break that down. Transformative seems to come from their mental health framework. They use mindfulness, holistic practices.
Yeah, allowing for more customized treatments, it sounds like, not a one-size-fits-all thing.
And holistic is key too, right? Bridging conventional care with more maybe organic or preventive approaches, looking at body, mind, spirit together.
Exactly, and that community-led piece feels really central.